Greetings. My name is Lornan, and I'm here to help guide you as you begin your journey into experiencing Hueforge. Before we begin, I just want to mention that this is the initial video in what will become a suite of tutorials that aim to take the massive complexity that is Hueforge and break it down into small, bite-sized chunks for easier consumption. By the time we finish, you should be able to eat the whole elephant that is Hueforge. Before we can begin with the software, however, we need to first talk about what Hueforge is and how colors work. So, this series itself is going to cover topics such as where do I start, what does this program do, as well as how do I make those cool paintings. The objective for this session will focus specifically on color spaces and what TD is, as well as how to determine the TD of a filament. So Hueforge is a software program that allows you to 3D print pictures, photos, really any graphic that you can think of in a high resolution format. The product that Hueforge produces is known as a filament painting. Filament paintings differ from normal paintings or printed lithographs because of how it interprets color space. So, color spaces themselves are how different technologies interpret color usage and blending. Each technology has its own strengths, weakness, and usage, depending on the situation. There are three primary color spaces: RGB, CMYK, and TD, but there are numerous other options that exist in smaller use case scenarios. So the RGB color space is used with almost all modern digital graphics. It's based off of the original television broadcast primary color standard of red, green, and blue. In school, in your art classes, we were taught red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors, and you can get all your other colors from that. In the case of TV or digital, it's actually red, green, blue. This is most apparent when you use something like a component cable with your TV. You'll notice that you have a red, a green, and a blue plug, not red, yellow, and blue. So the way that the color space works is it achieves a variety of colors by adjusting the intensity of each of the three primary colors, red, green, and blue, whether it's via an individual LED or a combination of multiple pixels side by side. The CMY color space is used in print media. It achieves its numerous colors by overlaying four primary colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, and key, traditionally black, although white can also be used depending on your medium, such as with the Bamboo Labs Lithopaint Maker. By overlaying these colors, we achieve around 16,000 colors. However, the sharpness of the picture itself depends entirely on the resolution of your printer. If your printer is not capable of doing a high resolution print, you're not going to get a highly detailed picture. Transmission distance is determined by the number of millimeters required by a specific filament to achieve 99% opacity from a filament when backlit. This number can vary between brands, filament types, and even spools within the same batch. That said, due to the nature of light passing through layers, we can create a much higher resolution 3D printed filament painting than is capable with a comparable CMYK lithopaint. So, what's the big deal with all this? As stated earlier, transmission distance allows for a higher resolution image to be printed. So even though CMYK is an easier format to use and it is simply four colors, where the variances of the filament color batch are minimal, it also runs the issue of being very limited in resolution and scale. Hueforge uses TD exclusively. Now, the big question is, how do I find the TD? There are two primary ways that we can determine the TD of a filament. We can either use the TD1 or TD1S for an automated method, or the seashell test for a manual hands-on method. For the TD1S, it's the easiest method to use as it integrates directly with Hueforge to show both the TD as well as the RGB hex code to display the color properly in the software. This method does have an initial cost, but you can self-source the files using Ajax 3D's Patreon or purchase one directly from BQ or other sources. Links to Ajax and BQ will be in the description. The Seashell test, on the other hand, consists of loading the Seashell test file from the Tools folder in your Hueforge folder. Then you save the STL generated and print the seashell using black plus the color you're testing. There is a chart in the folder to help you determine the TD for the filament by comparing it to the printed result. So, in conclusion, determining the transmission distance of your filament is vital to using the Hueforge software. Now, next time, for the next session, we're going to go ahead and look at how Hueforge works specifically, and we will start getting into use case scenarios. I hope you found this beneficial. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.